My name's Gary, and during this video I'll be hoping to explain to you what hypnosis is and removing some of those misconceptions that people can sometimes have about hypnosis. Now, one of the big misconceptions about hypnosis is many people kind of have that belief that as a hypnotist I have some kind of control. Now, as a hypnotist I have no control over you. In a way I wish I could control you. If I could control you, that you'd then see on my videos guaranteed to work. Now, one of the things with hypnosis, I can never offer a guarantee. And the reason for that is because hypnosis doesn't give me control over you. Now, if someone comes in to see me and that person doesn't want to change, well, there's nothing I can do which is going to help that person to make that positive change. With hypnosis, the change has got to be something that you want yourself. An example of this was a couple of years ago, someone actually come into my hypnosis practice to stop smoking. A particular person comes in, sits down, and I asked the person, well, why do you want to stop? The person said, I don't want to stop smoking. Well, I said, well, if you don't want to stop smoking, then why have you come in for an hypnosis session to stop smoking? And the particular person said to me that he was here because his doctor had told him to stop. And I said, well, I don't care what the doctor says. Why do you want to stop? Now, if this person would have said to me, well, the doctor said that, so I'm going to take his advice and stop smoking, then yes, I would have done the hypnosis. But this particular person didn't say that. He said, I'm here because that's what the doctor said I have to do. Well, in that case, then I said, I'm not doing the hypnosis. And he said, why? And I said, well, it's pointless. It's not going to work. I said, yes, we could do the hypnosis. And I could tell you for the next 30-35 minutes that you are a non-smoker. But you'd leave my office and you'd find the first reason to pick up a cigarette. I said, come back in when it's you that wants to stop. Then because you're doing it for yourself, it's going to be successful because you're then wanting to accept the positive suggestions that I'm giving you during the actual hypnosis. So during hypnosis, it's not about me having control over you. In actual fact, hypnosis is a great tool for you getting control over any aspect of your life that you want to work on. And that's the nice thing with hypnosis. Hypnosis is a great tool to help you to get control. Now, with regards to hypnosis, many people will ask me, how does hypnosis work? Well, a good idea and get you to think about what hypnosis is and how it actually works is, think of it as like you've got two minds. You've got a conscious mind and then you've got the unconscious mind. Now, for many people, when they try to make a positive change in their life, they'll try to make that change consciously. So we'll take the example of somebody maybe lacking confidence. That person might read a book on affirmations and that person then might start to tell themselves, I'm confident, I'm confident. Now, for many people with affirmations generally don't work because the person just doesn't believe what they're actually telling themselves. And one of the reasons for that, as I said, there's two aspects of you. There's the conscious mind and then you've got the unconscious mind. Now, consciously, if you say to yourself, you're confident, what generally happens at the unconscious level of the mind, it's the unconscious mind that needs to get that program that you are confident. If the unconscious mind doesn't receive the program that you're confident, then you'll never become confident. And the reason for that is if you use the affirmation, you're confident, to the unconscious mind, what the unconscious mind picks up is, think of a radio station that's out of tune. And all you pick up is the static. Well, if you just give yourself the affirmation that you're confident, to the unconscious mind is picking up that static. Now, the nice thing about hypnosis and what hypnosis really does is hypnosis is a kind of like tuning the station in. So rather than the unconscious mind picking up the static, because with hypnosis the radio station's tuned in, When I'm giving you the positive suggestions that you are a confident person as an example, the unconscious mind, because the radio station's tuned in, can fully pick up exactly what's being said. And then once the unconscious mind has picked up and has took on board those positive suggestions, you'll then be confident and it will feel completely normal, it will feel completely natural for you. Now, how does hypnosis feel? What is hypnosis? How does it actually feel when you are actually in hypnosis? Now, one of the things about hypnosis can feel completely different, for different people. So what I'll do is I'll give you some examples of what hypnosis actually feels like. Now, for many people, when they go into hypnosis, they'll generally have the idea that they're going to be asleep, they'll be unconscious, have no idea of what's actually going on. But hypnosis isn't like that. When you do go into hypnosis, yes, you've got your eyes closed. Chances are you're going to feel relaxed, but you're still listening to exactly what's being said. You're not asleep, you're not unconscious. For many people, they'll come out of hypnosis and they'll say to me, I felt completely relaxed. Felt like the muscles in my arms, in my legs were just dead heavy, like I couldn't lift them. I sometimes call it a ragdoll effect. You think of a ragdoll on strings. For many people, hypnosis, it's like those strings have been cut, and it's just that complete feeling of complete relaxation. Still listening to what's being said, but just feel completely relaxed. And for some people, when they go into hypnosis, they might say to me, they felt quite light. Felt, as if they was kind of floating, listening to what was being said. Some people might say to me they saw colours, or when I said certain things, they could actually imagine almost like picture themselves with that positive change in their life. So maybe if a person's come in for a stop smoking session, I've had it where maybe a person said, I want to stop smoking so I'm not getting out of breath as I'm going upstairs, or I want to play football and just feel fitter. And people have then come out of hypnosis, and I might have then used that during the hypnosis session. Now that you are a non-smoker, it means that you can go upstairs without getting out of breath. It means that you can play football and just feel so much fitter. And for people then, they've come out of hypnosis and they've said to me that when I was saying those things, they could actually picture themselves with that positive change in their life. So for some people, they might picture or see colours and things inside their mind. Some people might even come out of hypnosis and say to me, they felt no different. It just felt like they had their eyes closed, listening to what was actually being said. And for some people, that's what hypnosis might feel like. In fact, I remember probably around about 18 months ago having this client come in to see me to stop smoking. Do the hypnosis session, client leaves. Probably then about 6-7 months later, this particular client had passed my number on to somebody else. So this client had come in to see me and said, oh, such and such a body came in to see you around about 6-7 months ago to stop smoking. So I asked this client, I said, well, did this particular person tell you what hypnosis felt like? And the client turned around and said, well, it was quite strange what the person said. This particular person had said that they'd come in for their hypnosis session, left and thought to themselves, well, that was a waste of time. I went, all right, did the person explain what they meant by that? And the person said, well, what this person told me how the hypnosis session felt for them, it just felt like they was in the chair with their eyes closed. Didn't feel relaxed or anything like that, just felt like they had their eyes closed listening to what was being said. And left and thought, well, that was a waste of time. But the nice thing about this particular client, what this person said, but they've not touched a cigarette since. And for some people, that's what hypnosis might feel like. For some people, it might just be like they're in the chair with their eyes closed. And generally as an hypnotist, I always know when people are in that, hypnotic state. People give off natural signs they're in that state. Maybe a person's breathing changes, or the person might swallow more, or the muscles in a person's face kind of like look more relaxed. Just natural signs that person is in that hypnotic state. And I've had it where a person during the actual hypnosis session has given off maybe 6 or 7 of these signs. They're actually in that state of hypnosis, but for them, when they've come out of hypnosis, it's just felt like they've had their eyes closed. So for some people, it might just feel like they've got their eyes closed during the actual hypnosis. Now, for some people, when they go into hypnosis and they come out, they might say to me they can't remember much of what was said. They're not sure if they've fallen asleep or not. Now, a lot of times the person hasn't fallen asleep during the actual hypnosis session. It can be quite natural during hypnosis for your mind to drift, for your mind to wander, and you might start thinking about other things. And if that does happen, for some people then when they come out of hypnosis, because maybe they can't remember everything that was said during the actual hypnosis, they might have then felt like they'd fallen asleep, whereas a lot of the times it's just because your mind's drifted. And if your mind does drift during the actual hypnosis, then that's absolutely fine. Your unconscious mind is still taking on board exactly what's being said. But if your mind does drift off and you want to focus on what's being said, well, bring your attention then back to my voice, so you can then just follow along with the positive suggestions. And also, now and again, I might even have a person during the actual hypnosis session that might just fall asleep. Now, if you do fall asleep, that's absolutely fine. One of the things about your unconscious mind is your unconscious mind doesn't sleep. That's why when you go to sleep at night, you still carry on breathing. It's why when you go to sleep at night, you dream, because that aspect of your mind is still working. So if for some reason during the actual hypnosis you do fall asleep, well, your unconscious mind is still going to be listening and still taking on board all the wonderful suggestions. Also, during the actual hypnosis session, you can move. You don't have to stay in one position. If you do feel uncomfortable, then just move to a more comfortable position. And what you'll then find is you can then just continue to relax, just more and more.